High Level is a full CRM and marketing platform, and I've used some of the best in the SaaS industry. We are live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, X, Instagram, all the places. And we've got hot guests, hot topics, and we're going to be getting into it. I still always want to say hot prizes. It's, just part of the WinsDay history. Maybe one day we'll get back to it, but we just got to work out those terms. Anyway, I digress because we have a hot episode tonight, like I said, with some really great topics. But before we get into it, I want to make sure and remind everyone of Cherry Assistant. Think about the work you're doing right now. What can you delegate? What is it that you are spending a lot of time doing, repetitive tasks that you could write down in a Google Doc or a Word doc and be like, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and then hand it off to someone else? Well, it's time for you to start thinking about that because you can't scale, you can't grow when you're doing it all yourself. Hand it over to someone else. And I've been able to grow and scale thanks to Cherry Assistant. I wouldn't promote a brand that I don't use. I work with them, and we've got, Layla back here in the behind the scenes producing the show for us tonight. Thanks for being here, Layla. And, she is with Cherry Assistant. They placed me with her. So scan this QR code or go to cherryassistant.com. And if you do, make sure to let them know that you heard about them through WinsDay for $250 off your first month. Also want to make sure and remind you to go check out High Level. So this is something we use internally. I've actually white labeled it to app.reveting.com. And one of our guests tonight is a client, so she knows. But it's where we build calendars and booking forms for our clients who we have shows for, podcasts, live streams. But anyway, I digress. It's hello. Thanks for being here, everyone. By the way, let us know if you are here by leaving a comment and let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know what industry you're in. Why are you here? What brought you in? I mean, is it my background? Is it the hair? Is it the topics? What is it? Just be honest. Let's be real tonight. This is a real conversation. So this is about you, the audience. We've got our organized topics, but we want questions from you and we want to hear from you. So again, put it in the chat. Let us know you are here. But anyway, scan that QR code or go to reveting.com/high level if you are listening to this later on an audio only podcast. Anyway, let's dive right into it. Let's welcome to our shows tonight. Someone's saying she doesn't hear anything. Hopefully you all are hearing me. Maria Lobanova. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Can you hear me, Maria?
Hi. Can you hear me? Can you see
Yes,
me?
I hear you. Do you hear me? And then we have Lauren. Lauren, do you hear us?
Hi. Yes, I've been able to hear you the whole time.
I cannot hear anything. I can't hear.
It must be your audio. So maybe Layla, we can pull her out of the screen for now until we can get her speakers working. So yeah, you just have to go to the audio settings here in StreamYard. I don't know why it cut out once we went live though. Well, that's weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird things going on with mics these days. So it's just what happens.
True. Anyway, well, it's great to have you here on the show. Lauren, it's been awesome getting to know you over the past few months, but I'd like to know even more. And in good old-fashioned WinsDay style, we'll put a 2-minute clock up. Could you tell us your full life story from birth to what brought you to now? And not your resume stuff. We can go on your LinkedIn and see all that. We want to know the real you. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, totally. I love this entire show. I wish that I tuned in more often, quite honestly. It literally just made my whole life just hearing your intro. So I know for real. I'm Lauren Friedman. I am founder, CEO of Why Go Project. Maybe someday another human won't feel as alone. And currently right now I'm focused on helping people find ways to get through hard situations, whether it's dating or networking or being an entrepreneur or men's support or just being a human. So I have a lot of different ways for people to biohack and embodied comeback through the art and science of connection. That's the mission, is to redefine the human experience through the lens of trauma. You can't solve for what you don't understand. right? So right now I'm focused on anti-anxiety networking, which I'm going to dive into in a little bit. But the whole goal is to regulate your nervous system. Nervous system regulation is actually the foundation of society, of wellness, of everything. And that's really my purpose here on this planet. So my story is crazy. I have this insane story. I was raised by 2 therapists. I was in therapy since I was 5. I have all of these things that have happened in my life because my nervous system was attracted to chaos and my body only knew survival. So I had to learn how to soften into myself. And I've always been resilient, right? But I didn't know how to actually be kind to myself. So I've learned about capacity and all the different things. And that's one of the reasons I'm wearing this today, because I've actually lost and gained over 100 pounds multiple times from trauma living in my body. I was almost 300 pounds multiple times, even though I was working out, doing CrossFit and an extreme HIIT, starving myself, doing all kinds of crazy things, like 14 hours a week at one point. And it affected my hormones, it affected my mind body. So I've been on this mission to help others, and my background's in advertising technology. So I'm using that to explain trauma the same way I explained abstract, complex ideas in advertising technology. And that's really where my passion stands. I love connecting people, and I want to help people connect to each other, to themselves, and to a higher power, because I was born into this. This is my legacy, and I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. I love this. And I believe we might have Maria back. Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
Oh, it's okay. It's like we click live and everything broke. But I'm glad you're back just in the nick of time so you can tell us your full life story from birth to what brought you to now in 2 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was born and raised in Moscow, Russia. I know it's not cool to say it right now, but I can change this fact. And I started to be interested in like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and like crypto Web3 industry while I was studying in the university during my undergrad. And my classmate at my university got me interested. I started to go to his meetups, and before I knew it, my whole career ended up in crypto. And my undergrad was at communications and social sciences faculty. So naturally, at first I wanted to be a journalist, and then I just like naturally shifted to PR, and then I started to do marketing as well. And I've worked with some industry leaders. 6 years ago, I started my own PR and marketing agency focused on crypto, Web3. It's called Interstellar Digital, and we have worked with some industry leaders such as ZK Sync, Ethereum Rollup, Zero Knowledge Ethereum Rollup. They raised like $400 million, a big project in our industry. We have worked with Propi. It's a project tokenizing real estate. They were the first ones in the US that got like all the necessary licensing and everything. And since recently, I also serve as a chief marketing officer of Nayaris Protocol. It's a cybersecurity company. We are quantum proof, and Nayaris Protocol was mentioned recently in the Security and Exchange Commission research published on their website. It was a submission to the SEC by some independent researcher, but they chose it. They chose to publish it, and it says that our company has a really good approach to protect other companies from quantum computing threat. So yeah, I'm really proud of what I achieved. Live in Miami, Florida now, and thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for joining. This is going to be a really great conversation. Um, all right. Well, let's just get right into our first topic.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing before that. I hate that you had to apologize for being from the country you're from. That's like something that
Oh, absolutely.
for you, and that
That's
shouldn't
what
be.
makes you even more interesting. Like,
Yeah, it's for real. Like you don't have to apologize for that. Like,
please.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, that's why I like the US, because everybody's here is like super friendly and not blaming each other for the races or for the nationalities. But some people all over the world like sometimes have different approach, which is like
Parts of
it's
this
okay.
country do, right? But I think that like my mom was first generation escaping the Holocaust, and like it's scary when you come to a new country and you have to learn all. You're doing amazing. So I just wanted to honor that for you. This isn't the
Thank
Cold
you.
War, you know?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for saying that, Lauren.
That was like the first thing I heard, and I was
For
like, I
real.
should pay attention after that.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Thank
And
you.
well,
Thank you.
and just in response to yours, Lauren, too, like I really appreciate how open you are. And, I think it makes you more relatable to people just in terms of like sharing about your childhood and your experiences and it gives you credibility when you get into some of these topics. Like I believe this first one we're getting into, leading from regulation versus reactive anticipation.
Oh, yes. Why, thank
Up.
you.
Yes.
This is a central thesis of why I'm doing this is, leading from a regulated state changes your whole life. Like I never was taught, and like many people have never been taught how to regulate your nervous system. And it wasn't something that was discussed, right? It wasn't something that we talked about in health class. Like we talked about the nervous system as a whole, but nobody ever once said to me until I was literally in the most terrible state, like having flashbacks, wetting the bed, I can't sleep. It was like I've been through pregnancy, perimenopause, menopause, like every single natural thing happened to my body. And it wasn't until then that someone taught me that the mind and body are one. And had I known that, I would have treated myself differently. I wouldn't have, run myself into the ground in the same ways if I were taught how to actually live. So I was in a prolonged state of hyperarousal, or in survival mode, as we call it. And a lot of people find themselves in these states and don't realize it because we were never taught how to get out of them, or even what they are, or how to recognize it. So leading from regulation changes everything. It's actually crime prevention. You can actually reverse geocode your actual genes and reverse illness and lessen chronic illness. And, it's crime prevention, as I keep mentioning, because like when you lead from anticipation and dysregulation, bad things happen. And I've learned that myself, like when you anticipate things versus just flowing, living in the moment, but also working hard to accomplish tasks, it's really hard to do. And no one teaches you that. They just teach you how to go really, really hard and work really hard. Like Maria was just talking about it. She just, she came to a new country. You already have this incredible product that has been recognized by the SEC. That's incredible, and our society and globally, we've always been taught how to just be accomplished. And even if we're not, like, even if we don't feel accomplished and we're in a state of like just freeze and we don't feel like we could get anything done, that's still a dysregulated state, even if though you may feel calm. So the whole goal that I want to really teach everyone is how to find that regulation. And it's not, it is an art and a science of connection to yourself, connection to others, and connection to a higher power. But it's also not something that, that happens in a silo. It's something you have to work on every day. And when you're able to lead with regulation, you make clear-headed decisions, you have discernment, you can have alignment, you actually understand. Like I was getting no's from my body in a specific situation and I didn't understand why. And then because then logically it didn't make sense on paper. And then I was able to see the logic side of it. And I was like, my body was always right. But if you don't know how to slow down and listen to it and really deepen into yourself, you're just going to be stuck in those same cycles. So this is part of what I'm talking about embodiment, about neuroscience for all, because it's really important. And it's how we live together as a society and how we also communicate better, right? And welcome other people into this country and welcome other people into whether it's a business relationship or a friendship. So that's a little bit of what I wanted to share today. And I had a really good workout before this, which is why my hair is like this. And I'm sporting my Noble. I'm always sporting my Kambuso Shift necklace because it really does help me shift into a microcom state. They're like trademarking this and I'm obsessed with it. So you're just going to hear me talk about it as a marketer forever.
I love that. Well, thank you for sharing all that. There's a lot that we could unpack there.
We
So
don't have to tonight.
What was that?
We don't have to tonight. I want to hear more about Maria. And
well, I mean, for this topic, let's get into it. And Maria probably has a take on this. So before, I even share any of my take, like, because freeze it can be sneaky like that. Like work hard is easy, working hard while regulated, that's where it's at.
It's the hardest.
What's your take on all of this, Maria?
Well, first of all, thank you so much. That was like so inspirational, and I don't know, always think about it and acknowledge it, but you're right. And yeah, I just wish that we all just live the fulfilled life, because we are always told that like, oh, just like work yourself to death. basically, but like there is nothing like work-life balance, and you should always like make time for your loved ones. You should always make time for your body and like workout. I had a nice workout this morning. I cannot work out in the evenings, unfortunately. My body just like wouldn't do that. And yeah, I just really appreciate it. And thank you so much for having me. And thank you for being so welcoming.
100%. Yeah, thank you for being here. It's an honor to have both of you here. I mean, I think a way we could tie a lot of what we've talked about together, I just put in the chat too, is like Maria coming to a new country and building something SEC recognized to drive it. Like it took drive is what I meant. It and nervous system regulation, because that's a lot to handle there. And it's easy to freak out, if we don't learn to control it. So Lauren, as we sort of like get more into this topic, could you give us some tips and guidance in terms of this topic and regulation versus anticipation? Anticipation isn't alignment. Like, how do we get inspired from within so we're not always pushing, which is something I talk about with a coach. Can you talk to us about
Yeah.
that?
And I love what you said before, because it's so true about, you can't build without having any type of alignment or regulation. And if you do, things just don't go well. And, I've had a lot of success in my whole life, but I never was regulated because no one ever taught me how. If they taught me how, I would do it. So that's what I'm doing now. And just from like a regulation standpoint, it's being able to just start by being in your body. And what the F does that mean? Well, in a simple way, I don't know if anybody here who's watching is familiar with body scans, but this is something that I had to learn at almost 40. I felt anxiety for the first time at almost 40. So I'm truly sharing from how I was able to learn it. And right now I'm sitting on a chair. It's something you could do simple. I'm not wearing any socks, so my feet are touching the ground. I don't know if you could hear them. And I could feel the bottom of my legs touching the chair and my tush touching the chair. And if I sit back, I could feel my back touching the chair and just my hands touching my legs. And that's just number one way to get into your body, is to just take a quick body scan. And how do you do that? You look at the edges of where your body is meeting either the floor, the ground, or whatever you're sitting on. You do it standing up. And then you notice any sensations, whether it's movement in your bodies. You could feel all the way from your toes all the way up to the top of your head. And to me, that's when I'm able to start noticing, right, and being aware of what's going on in my body. And it becomes something that you become used to over time. Like I didn't know how to do this. I was like, what the F does that mean? What does it mean to be in my body? And then one day it just clicked. And then it becomes part of your natural life when it becomes integrated into your body. And now I'm able to listen to my body speak to me. Now, again, like I mentioned a few weeks ago, I freaked out. I lost my effing, and I needed to. Like that also was part of this healing, right? I had to lose and have a collapse in order to have growth. And that's like any other thing. Sometimes you have to take a step back to take a few steps forward. So when you think about, just being in your body in alignment and how to listen to your body in real time, it can be as simple as just like rubbing your hands on your legs. Whether or not you're wearing pants, you could still feel that engagement. And, obviously skin to skin is great. A lot of people talk about grounding. You could do it in the grass, barefoot. My feet are so dirty these days.
Feet in grass.
But yeah, there's a lot of ways to do it. And I just personally, I was in lifelong survival mode, and all I wanted to do was lose weight. I stopped drinking. I literally did all these things in order to lose weight. And I found healing. I wasn't trying to heal, but I'm so grateful that I did.
I love that. Well, great job. Congratulations to you. That's huge. Bravo. Yeah.
By the way, I tried morning workouts, and when it's high stress time, I tend to just make sure I wake up late, but I love those morning workouts. That's one of my goals in life.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember thinking, like years ago, what does that even mean? Be in my body? No one teaches this. It sounds abstract, until it really clicks. And then you can't unfeel it.
Yeah.
It's like the body keeps the score. There's a book called that.
Yeah.
And also since having shingles myself at the age of 35,
Wow.
during the pandemic, I was, C-suite, had kids at home and under 5. It was a lot and my body just couldn't take it. So your health reacts. But awareness is a practice. I love what you're talking about, like grounding, getting your feet on the ground, like rubbing your thighs. These are little things, but literally, it helps. And you can freak out though and still be healing. I will say growth isn't linear. Sometimes it's like sometimes losing it is part of integrating it, right? Like step
Yeah.
back, then quantum leap. Your body like speaks in signals, but most of us are really trained to override them because we're trained to be people pleasers. I know I'm a former people pleaser. I'm recovering, but like anyway, I could talk on this all day long. Would love any more intake from you both before we transition into the next topic.
No, I'm all good, but I love your story and I love exactly what you're talking about because your body forces you to listen. And like, it's once you have the ability to listen to it, you can go into any situation regulated. And then you can have much more productive everything after that. So it's really hard to do, right? And it's no, there's no healed, it's healing, right? But it's like any other thing, whether you're building a business or you're building the new technology, the new Web3, like, or you're trying to heal your body, we're actually better than AI. We're the original AI.
Yeah, no, Lauren, I loved what you said, and those are insights for me. I never really thought about it. So, yeah,
No, and by
thank
the way,
you.
I started my career in tech and advertising. So I know nobody was talking about this because I've worked at the biggest companies, the smallest companies. I've had every training in the world, and nobody was talking about this. If people taught me how to be in my body, I mean, I was raised by 2 therapists and people didn't get it. So like to me, this is like selling emerging technology. It's really hard sometimes at first, right? Because you need to get people to get bought in. And it's like, I talked about in one of my stories about selling like an NFT to like a Fortune 100 company. That's hard. But you can do it. You just need to be regulated and it's going to take time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to take time. Just like coming to the US from Russia, it's going to take regulation and time, but there's just like everything in life. So, I mean, these are really good tips. Thank you for getting into that, Lauren. But let's dive into our second topic. We're going to switch gears a little bit marketing strategies in the Web3 space. Now, I will say one reason I'm really into live streaming is because I feel strongly that with the future, um, live streaming isn't going anywhere. Like we can really see it changing the economy on TikTok. And now we're seeing more and more, at least here at Reviting, we do B2B on LinkedIn. And people want to connect with real humans because AI is taking over and this is a real conversation. I digress. I could talk about that, but I want to hear from you, Maria, from your perspective with marketing strategies in the Web3 space. Could you kick us off?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, yes, live streams are not going anywhere, but like the primarily platform in the Web3 space is Twitter. So we all host like Twitter spaces. We hop on with like, I don't know, partners, friends, clients, everybody listen to it. And yeah, Twitter is like a primarily like social media and social platform in our space in crypto space. It doesn't matter if you're B2B or B2C, but yeah, like honestly, like when it comes to the strategies, you should understand what your product is about, and like is if it's B2B, it's like a little bit different marketing and sales technique. Obviously, if it's B2C, it's again like different channels and like a little bit different strategy. So yeah, and then you like map your ICPs, like ideal customer profile and etc. So it's all kind of like the same way as in any other industry, but like the only big difference is that crypto space has like its own social media. So for example, Instagram or TikTok or even LinkedIn is not that popular when it comes to our space. Our main channels are Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. Well, Telegram and Discord is more for community building if your project is B2C, but if it's B2B, it's mainly Twitter. Well, sometimes LinkedIn and like maybe email marketing if you have like a relevant email base. And also, we have our own influencers. So when it comes to the influencer marketing, it's not Kim Kardashian who will promote your coin, although she can, and we all know that she was sued by the Security and Exchange Commission because she was promoting some shitcoin on her Instagram, and so yeah. But in general, usually it's not like normal celebrities. We have our own famous people in our space. So a lot of people listen to like Michael Saylor when it comes to Bitcoin. He's the CEO of MicroStrategy, and they like buy Bitcoin and sell it, and they're a public company and etc. Like Google about MicroStrategy if you don't know. A lot of people listen to Vitalik, obviously. He's a founder of Ethereum. It's like second popular blockchain after Bitcoin. A lot of people listen to Crypto Banter. It's a YouTube channel, have over 1 million followers. A lot of people listen to Mario Nafal. He's a crypto influencer, has over 2 million followers on Twitter. And I think even like some other influential people like Elon Musk follow him. A lot of people actually listen to Elon Musk, and he really likes to put it into like he really likes to take an advantage of it and like shield some coins like Dogecoin on his Twitter, which is like probably not even that legal, but he doesn't care, and it works. And yeah, I think like on the surface, this is pretty much it. Obviously, if you like want to strategize, you need to think about like events as well, like which conferences you were gonna go to, like what other projects will you work with, and etc. But like just on the surface, these are the specifics of the industry. And yeah, when it comes to the tools for like ordinary people, how people get the knowledge, they usually don't use ChatGPT. They use Grok. It's an LLM by Twitter, and they try to find out what Twitter trends are on Grok. Or you can simply scroll Twitter and see like what the industry leaders are talking about, and like what's hot, what's not, like what are the news. And yeah, this is basically it.
Amazing. I love that. So, what's your take on all of this, Lauren?
I mean, that's a whole new world to me. I haven't spent a lot of time. It's funny. I haven't spent a lot of time on legacy Twitter. I didn't actually. I thought you were talking about Twitter, and then I was like, is she talking about X? But it's good that
Yeah.
that's what it was. I've heard a lot about Grok. I'm very intrigued by this, and I feel like that space is definitely its own environment for sure. So it's kind of cool that you have your own environment.
Yeah, well, I also like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean the legacy Twitter. It's actually X. It's just like,
X.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's been
We're on
around
X right
for,
now.
Same
yeah,
thing. Yeah.
yeah. So X, sorry about that.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure because I was like, is she talking about that? I've never been good at Twitter, like even when it was cool.
No, I'm on Twitter since 2011 actually, but not everyone, like, yeah, it's X. I'm sorry, like that wasn't like really
No,
professional of me, but yeah, like everybody knows, like
it's the same
it's
thing as
Twitter,
Meta.
X,
Meta,
formerly
Facebook,
Twitter.
yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They lost trust.
Yeah. No, they
No,
keep
I
changing their
mean,
names.
The
not
hardest
by the
part about
crypto
marketing.
industry. Sorry.
I was just going to say, like keeping trust, it's the hardest part about marketing, and they lost it.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, crypto industry still trusts a lot in like it's still like number one social media in our industry. But I know that
Which one?
Trump
You said Twitter?
X
X,
X
yeah.
Twitter, yeah. But I know that Trump, for example, has his own platform. What is it? Truth,
Or
Trust.
something like that. There's
Yeah,
so
so
many.
he like promotes that one. And I know that Sam Altman and OpenAI have some plans to like launch their own social media. And Sam Altman actually has like a crypto project. It's called WorldCoin, and they have these little orbs. You can get verified. They scan your eyes, so you basically go through like the whole KYC, because he thinks it's not enough to know all of our deepest secrets that we share with ChatGPT. He thinks that he also needs our face scan and like our eyes scan.
Oh,
And
okay.
I think his new social media platform will use WorldCoin face recognition to like allow new users, basically. And he thinks that he can make it happen because there are so many users of ChatGPT that he can just, basically transfer them to the new social media. I want to see if it's gonna happen. Obviously, probably it will just drive. I don't know, the world coin prices up or whatever. I don't even know. I don't want to think about it.
Oh my gosh.
It's hard
Yeah.
to get consumers to change platforms. It really is. It's hard to influence consumer behavior in that way, like from the platform that they're used to, right? Like as marketers, you've seen that, I'm sure. I have personally in my business,
Mhm.
my professional life. So you're right. I think it's going to drive up the cost of his coin, but
Yeah,
then who knows what'll happen? It's very interesting though.
yeah,
Totally. Yeah. Wow. There's so much to unpack there. I mean, we go back to some of it in terms of like we're watching like platform fragmentation in real time.
Yeah.
Everyone wants their own ecosystem, whether you're a coin or a social, like attention is the new oil, of
Yeah,
course.
pension is a new currency that they've been. I mean, that when I was at Oracle, that was like the presentation when I was being hired, and that was like in 2021.
Mm,
So, like, yeah, no, that's a. But also, like what you're talking about, the fragmentation and the trust. Like everyone was talking about it from different sides, and it's really interesting to see. Like, I was like an OG Facebooker since October of 2004. So the way you
mhm.
feel about Twitter is the way I feel about like Meta, whatever it's called these days. And it's interesting to see how there's different portions of businesses that are like so siloed in these areas that nobody has any idea of what's going on.
Right.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and everybody wants like their own social media platform or at least any media that they can control, so they can like, control the narrative. And
You get all the
yeah.
data, like your eye scan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm sure, like, no offense to OpenAI, love the product using ChatGPT, but I'm sure they like hardcore sell our personal data like as much as they can to
yeah.
advertisers, to like other, like, I don't know.
No, I've been playing around with DeepSeek. I have a lot of opinions about it, so it's interesting. 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes, this is such a juicy marketing tech like human behavior moment. You've got
I love
like
it.
consumer behavior, trust, fragmentation, attention, economics. Like it's incredible.
Advertisers, brands, like not wanting to be, in certain platforms anymore. Like when I was interviewing at Twitter back in the day, and like I didn't. That was like the one platform I really didn't use, and like they're like, you can't work here if you don't use it, obviously. But
Mm,
like brands were flocking to it back then, and then eventually it became. Then it was dead. Then it's back. I mean, it's been one of the most resilient platforms. Like that, if you look at it like as a case study, it's kind of been the most resilient platform in its different iterations over the years.
yeah, totally. Well,
Yeah.
the real flex isn't launching a platform. I would say it's sustaining
Yeah.
engagement or the attention. And if you want to like subtly anchor your authority, this is why owned media, like what we're doing here, and like consistent live distribution is super powerful. You build your audience equity anywhere. I digress. I could talk about that
No,
all
I love
day.
that. Keep talking about it. I love it.
Let's get into it. But before we get into any more, actually, we need to take a quick break to hear from our friends over at Cherry Assistant, and you'll hear more about Reveting too, which I was talking about live streaming.
This is Mike, also known as Clean with Mike on Twitter. Mike hired a virtual assistant from Cherry Assistant about 2 years ago. Now he has a $50K per month business fully managed by a remote operator in South Africa. His VA from South Africa does the following: closing inbound leads on the phone, Yelp and Google and Facebook, manages his CRM on Go High Level, deals with rescheduling, cancellations, any issues, hires and manages the cleaners, and sends them daily reports and updates. Mike has a fully cash flowing business managed by a remote operator for only $8 an hour. You can also hire a US equivalent worker in the Philippines, South Africa, Latin America for a fraction of the cost with Cherry Assistant. Be like Mike and grow your business with offshore staff.
If you're listening on audio, right now we're showing a menu of services they offer, including but not limited to lead generation, CRM management, prospecting assistance, sales presentation preparation, data entry and cleanup, customer support, project management assistance, and so much more. Just go to cherryassistant.com, or if you are watching, you can scan that QR code. Go over to cherryassistant.com. Make sure you let them know you heard about them through Reveting for $250 off. But Also, we've got one more ad to play for you. One moment, we'll be right back. At Reveting, we help B2B founders, executives, brands turn their live streaming into a real revenue channel. One live stream turns into a podcast. It turns into a social clip. It turns into email content like a newsletter and actual sales conversations. You get to have a lot of conversations with people when you have a podcast or a live stream like this. And if you want to be known, trusted, and remembered in your industry without being online 24/7, worrying about your posting, this is what we do. Just head on over to reveting.com and let's build your show.
I want to give a quick testimonial for the Reveting team and Jesse for some of the things that they've helped me do in my business and developing an online presence. So first of all, I was really nervous about doing lives. Everybody kept telling me, you got to do lives, you got to do lives. And I just couldn't get myself to do it. And so thanks to Jessie and her team, I've now been doing them for, I think, 7 or 8 months now. And I've gotten so much more comfortable and confident in doing them. The other thing is they very much have helped me increase my reach and online presence, especially on LinkedIn, but also on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. That was something that was kind of a surprise to me. So they also do some posts for me. And some of those posts have gotten the most attention compared to what I was doing before. And I've learned a lot from them. So thank you, Reveting and Jesse.
Jesse, I love what you and the team do. You make it so easy for me to get in, have a meaningful conversation with some amazing guests, and then watch the post-production that you and the team deliver that, helps me extend my reach. And as I said, I've been picking up 50 followers a day on LinkedIn as a byproduct of this, just because that content is resonating so well. And I've had a number of people reach out to me who want to be guests on the show. So it's working across a lot of different channels for me. And I can't thank you enough.
Awesome. Just head over to reveting.com. We would love to work with you too, but I want to get right back into these topics. Okay, so we were wrapping up that third topic, but I'm going to transition us into we were wrapping up the second topic. I'm going to transition to our third topic, anti-anxiety networking. Actually, I needed this morning. I had a little anxiety this morning because as you scale a business and you're training new people and like things break, like calendar bookings for your podcast, and your client has all these shows that start appearing on anyone's calendars, but they're booked. It just, it all becomes a lot. And then I had 2 sick kids home, no other adults around. It's a lot. So anti-anxiety, what was that third part of the topic? Anti-anxiety, what was it? Networking. Let's get into that.
What I would actually like to talk to, because that's actually what I would like to continue to talk about tomorrow on my show with you about, is that exact thing. Like you're doing everything, right? And like, it's about nervous system regulation. Like you're standing here and you're a one show woman, literally. And it's hard. You have 2 sick kids at home. You have no other adult support. You're running a business. You're doing all these things. And the whole thing is like, how do you do it all and not get sick? And you've already been sick. So you had to like adjust your lifestyle. And as an entrepreneur, that's really hard. And Todd Bowman actually wrote launched a newsletter this afternoon that I caught right when I was at the gym. And it was the CEO's Rolodex, why networking is a broken metric. And I couldn't agree more, because it's not about how many people you meet, but it's about the quality of that engagement. And he talks about how like with interest, right, in finance, it compounds over time. So it's not just, if you're meeting 500 people in a day or whatever that is, like the person on the Reveting promo, which I love Reveting personally, but he had just said something about 50 new contacts a day. And that's wonderful. Like we all want that, but also the quality of like in-person networking is about compounding, right? Adding value to not just for one way, right? Reciprocity. So when you think about anti-anxiety networking, it's about how do we increase the quality of those engagements? And it's through your own regulation. So you could come to those moments fully regulated and aligned, and you could actually make progress instead of detracting from your life, which we all know happens, right? It's just human nature, and as much as you can be regulated in these environments that can be very anxiety inducing, right? Is what I'm trying to help support. So I have I'm creating these networking events, and then we'll talk about more on tomorrow's show and just in general, that will also focus on nervous system regulation so that you could be in these environments and have less anxiety. Because as someone who just started to feel anxiety for the first time in my life at almost 40, even though I have like, obviously I love people, I could talk to anybody in the world. It's been a weird series of events in my life. And I was like, oh, this is what regular people feel like when they try to network. And I was like, there's something here. How can we help make this better for everybody?
What do you think helped get you there?
I mean, everything. So we were talking before about the Camuso Shift necklace. It also comes in fidget toys, and that's what I'm going to be. They're called the Camuso Flex, and that's what I'm going to be sharing at these events, so everyone can try one. And also, the necklace is just so cute. I wear it with everything. Literally, it matches everything. But it's a way to help you learn how to breathe and get into your body and reset your nervous system in real time. They call it micro calming. And that's literally what you need to do to just pivot, right? To de-escalate in some way. You could do it through music. You could do it through movement. You could do it through mindset, but mantras, whatever that looks like, hydration. But this is really simple, and we could go through it more at a different date. I don't want to take up too much time, but it basically allows you to exhale fuller. And I'll be sharing more tomorrow on the Trauma Translator.
Oh my gosh, so beautiful. What's your take on all this, Maria?
Well, I've been going to the conferences. So I'm in crypto industry for like 10 years. And all that time I've been going to different crypto conferences. And first, I really loved it because it allowed me to travel the world and like meet people and etc. But lately, maybe because I'm over 30 now, or I don't know what happened, but yeah, like I feel a lot of anxiety and I don't always choose to like stay at the event for a long time, or like yeah, it's like it's a lot. And I wish, like, honestly, that's like maybe my new research topics about like feeling my body and like resetting my nervous system in real time. And Lauren, I actually would love to stay in touch because I never even like it didn't even enter my consciousness that like I can actually do some tricks to help myself.
I love your story, and thank you so much for sharing that, because that's literally, I also found myself too, like and it's very normal, by the way, for women. I actually, when I went to market with this in 2023, I thought this was a perimenopausal thing. It's way bigger than that. It's for everybody. And there's now like a men's focus, believe it or not. But everything you're describing is what I've been going through too. Like, and we're not alone. Like, I find myself going to the bathroom a lot just to like get away. And it's not because I don't want to be there. I very much want to be there. You know, it's so anxiety ridden, especially when you're running your own business and you have so much stress and you're saying the same story over and over again. And you're like so sick of hearing yourself speak, you know, and then you're like, oh, I have to talk to more people. So I could actually understand now, like, how regulated I am by the amount of anxiety that I feel when I enter these spaces or don't have. Right. And I would love to stay in touch with you. Also, we're going to be taking these, I'm partnering with this app that I'll be announcing. We're going to have another conversation tomorrow, but I'm partnering with this app and we're going to be going to different cities at some point. So maybe we'll end up in Miami soon and you could come to one of our I call it the regulated connection method right now. It might be called something else, but you come to one of our events because there are ways to help get through those. Like, if we're paying all that money to beat those events, let's not spend our time in the bathroom, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure.
No, thank you for sharing that. I love to stay in touch with you.
Yeah, I love this. I do love this conversation. I'd love to hear from people in the comments too, because, you know, conference fatigue or in-person fatigue is real, especially like in high intensity industries like crypto or even just like marketing, right? Like
Yeah.
travel, constant stimulation. I know for me, like that's a lot. Like I'm a little neurodivergent. So having that constant light and conversation, like I'm exhausted. And that's a lot for any nervous system, even if you are good with people. And it's interesting how, you know, what once felt energizing can really start to feel overwhelming because that shift, it's, you know, it deserves curiosity, not judgment, but sometimes that happens.
Exactly. So well said, though. But like, you're right about that.
Yeah, I definitely felt that myself. Over 30 or over 40 now. You know, sometimes it's just growth. Like the older we get, the less tolerance we have for dysregulation. Like
it's hormones, but it's also being too, it's doing like that. It's just, we have capacity. And it's really an understanding of your capacity. Cause like, I love talking to people, but if I'm like planning next week and I'm like, I have something during the day and then I have something at night that are both really amazing networking events. And I'm like, am I going to be dead by my show on Thursday and then an important, really important networking event that I have on, so these are things we all don't think about when we think about just like trying to get our jobs done or just trying to move forward. So yeah, it's capacity. And how do we know what our capacity is? Only by testing it out in real life. You can't do it learning sitting at home by yourself,
Yes, 100%. Yeah, you can love your field and still need boundaries from it.
Yeah.
For sure.
From yourself too.
100%. Yes. Like, let me just take a break from the world for a moment.
I have a great show for you to binge watch when you decide both of you to take a break.
Yes, absolutely. Well, with that, let's get into our final topic, which is modern marketing in the technology sector. So can you kick us off on this, Maria?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that like in the technology sector also there are like certain tricks when you do marketing, because a lot of like deep tech companies especially they do not know how to make the message clear. So most of the people do not really understand what exactly they do, what the product is. And even when I say like they're like one liner to people, it sounds like gibberish because no one knows. Like for example, when I was introducing myself, I said that we were working with like zero knowledge roll up to Ethereum blockchain, and probably most of the people did not really understand what it means. So our goal as marketers is to basically explain the founders that the message should be as simple as possible to reach the broader audience. And also, since everything is really fastly changing in this world, we need to be on top of the technology, and we need to be on top of minds, and we need to figure out how to be on top of minds. Because for example, right now, to be on top of minds, you should be recognized by AI, by LLMs, because a lot of people would not Google like what's the best I don't know, software as a service provider. They will go to ChatGPT or Claude or whatever LLM they prefer, and they will ask there. Although Google also uses their own LLM, Gemini, but anyway. So yeah, like nowadays you need to figure out the way how to get on top of minds when people use ChatGPT, and there is only one, honestly, only one tool. It's organic PR. And if you're in the top tier media and in the top tier sources, and all the AIs will know about you immediately. But anyway, it's like nothing really has had changed in that sense, because quality PR was always a good tool. And I think that like when you do marketing for the technology project, the only most important thing is to know your targeted audience, and also to simplify the message even for that targeted audience, so you do not target a very niche group, that like all of the other people also understand what's going on, what's your product. And and then you will have as many clients as possible. And also, of course, don't forget to test different channels and different funnels, and see what kind of funnel has like the most traffic for you. Because for someone it will be Twitter ads, for another project it will be I don't know, some cross marketing partnership. For the third project it could be even email blasts to the certain audiences. So yeah, it's like just like know your best funnel, simplify the message, and know your targeted audience, and then you're gold.
100%. Be a good steward of your audience. That's modern marketing, is like build trust. I love that though. And like know where they are natively and reach them there with the message that like resonates with them and touches them emotionally. What do
But
you
also
think?
explains the vision of that company, because what you're doing is distilling it down, right? Like at least for me, like I've worked for so many companies that they're spelled so crazy that they get auto corrected in my phone. So like I feel for both of you. Like also Jessie alone having to deal with me. Like I like one of my vision, and she's been nothing but like
No,
incredible.
you're great. Yeah.
But it's real. Like, and you're dealing with founders, their passion points. It's not just some jerk on the street. And I mean, most people are familiar with Eurythmium and stuff, but you're right. Like you have to redefine, much like I'm doing, right? With trauma is redefining. And my business is called Why Go Project. Nobody understands that. That wasn't smart, but I'm bringing it together. So I feel for you. Also, it's interesting about the SEO stuff. I think that I've been playing around with that. And I think Gemini actually does a better job sometimes than ChatGPT. ChatGPT doesn't always even know about updated iOS settings. Like,
Yeah, no, for sure. But like nowadays we need to keep, as marketers, we need to keep in mind that some people will not even use Google. They will go straight to ChatGPT. So now we have to think like how to be in ChatGPT
100%.
first, which is crazy. Never
That's
had these problems before.
data of like how many times this brand was searched, right? Like the log level files.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to end up being. Like it has to be, right? Like how else are you going to deal with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Wow, I could talk about this all night long. But we need to do the guru of the week. So let's pop into that. I think we've got a quick little jingle for you. The guru of the week. Ooh, ooh. The guru of the week. Ooh, ooh. Oh my gosh, so funny.
I love that so much.
Thank you. We'll pull myself out and let's hear from both of you on why we should go follow these people and who they are.
Maria, you go first.
All right. Ah, is it my turn? So my, I don't know, I hope you can hear me. My person is Kelly Callahan. She just hosted an amazing Arrington Capital Founders Retreat in Miami. She is a partner at Arrington Capital. It's like kind of big fund in our industry. They manage $2 billion as far as I know. And I know her for years, and she did marketing as well. She was a CMO at a blockchain project, and she has 3 kids. She has an amazing career. She flies around the world. She hosts like this amazing events, and I'm just like in awe, because I don't know how people balance these things, and seems like you ladies also do it, which I'm like, I'm I'm just in awe as well, because I don't have any kids and I don't know how I would manage them and still work and still have time for a podcast. Probably I wouldn't be able. I don't have as much capacity.
I don't either, by the way. I don't have kids. So I
Oh my
admire.
God, I have a sound problem again.
Oh no, we heard you though. Oh no, we lost her. Well, my guru of the week is Christina Scalfani. I hope I'm saying her name right. She's amazing. She works for TriNet, and I met her at a dinner that she sponsored, and she has just been a wealth of kindness, of support, of just a good human in society. And she's doing great things for entrepreneurs and small businesses and small to medium businesses, because benefits and insurance are safety, and safety is love. So if you don't know her already, follow her on LinkedIn. She's just amazing. She does all of these events and partners with all these different groups to help entrepreneurs and medium to small businesses get support, meet each other. Really, truly the art and science of connection. She should be on this show next.
Yes, we should absolutely have both of them on the show. I love that. Let's take notes and invite them on. And I know we lost Maria. Her sound went off. I don't know, Maria, if you can like rejoin again. That seemed to do it the last time. But if not, this has been an excellent conversation. Before we go, though, we want to know a little more about you, Lauren. Like, tell us who you are, who it is you serve, how you serve them, and if they could be served by you, how do they reach you?
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, so you can find me on LinkedIn, Lauren Friedman. You can also find me on Instagram at WhyGo Project, WhyGoProject project _. And I'm working in a lot of different capacities. This is like an enterprise level business. So I do one-on-one consulting. I also do consulting for advertising technology projects. And that's what I'm doing with my anti-anxiety events, is I'm bringing my background in advertising technology and marketing together, along with actually anti-anxiety healing tips to regulate your nervous system and ways to help bring people online to offline events in an anti-anxiety fashion. So there's a lot of different ways. I'm working with men. I do a lot of men's one-on-one coaching, consulting. I do advertising technology consulting. And if you'd like to have a chat, you can find it on ygoproject.com. And I'd love to chat with you. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm so grateful.
Amazing. So grateful to have you too. I don't know if Maria's gonna pop in. I know. Otherwise, we'll have to have her back on. Whoa, did your power go out? What's
Oh my God. I realized it's not plugged in because I have this anyway. Yeah.
Okay, you're good to go. We're
Yeah,
wrapping up anyway. I mean, next week we're gonna have another awesome episode. I don't know if we've got the next week. Okay, so here we go. We got Jacinta. I hope I'm saying that right. Devlin. She's a business coach, strategist, CEO. Saw her credentials. She's going to be amazing. And then we have Latif Hamilton, creative CEO, Spirit Hoods. And we've got Maria back. So next week's going to be awesome. But before we go, can you hear us?
I apologize. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I have the same problem on my phone and on my laptop with mic and the sound. I don't know. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. But before we go, we just want to learn more about you. Who it is you serve, how you serve them, and if they could be served by you, how do they reach you?
Yeah, sure. So, you can reach me at my agency email, which is ML, like my first and last name, ML at interstellardigital.io. Or you can reach me at my cybersecurity company email, maria.l, like my first and the first letter of my last name, at Naoris, NAORIS.com. Tricky name, but I love it. And you can also follow me on Instagram. It's Anariel K, so ANARIELKA. I don't know if you will be able to understand. And yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure. I'm so sorry about my mic problems and my hearing problems.
Not a problem at all. It was amazing having both of you on the show. Thank you again for coming on. Hope we can have you both back on in the future. But yeah, we'll be on next week. Anything else either of you want to add before we wrap up?
No, thank you so much. It's really been a pleasure. And I got my light back.
Yay, let there be light. Awesome. Well, then we will close out with an outro video. If either of you wouldn't mind, just sticking on so we can make sure the upload completes. We'll see you on the other side, but we'll see everyone else next week. What?